Good morning. Good morning. Good morning from Massachusetts here on the East Coast of the US. Happy May. It's May 1st. For some of you, that's a holiday. So if you're celebrating, have a beautiful celebration today, but it is a start of a new month. I'm very excited to share this day with you. I'm going to do a quick check on my laptop to make sure that our sound and audio are good. Please give me a thumbs up or just say, yes, Jennifer, we can see you, we can hear you, and we'll know that we're good to go. Looking good. Julia was our first, my early bird, and along with some others. I see is that Sravyadanik 10. Good evening to you. Thank you for taking time. I imagine you're several hours ahead of me. Stunning Lad 1, hello to you. Surprising me with questions. Spin a child in your arms. Why would I spin a child in my arms? That's very interesting. When is the last time you had a surprise birthday party? Ugh. Well, guys, you missed my March birthday if you wanted to surprise me. But sometimes in the past, I have gone live on my birthday just to celebrate and make the day feel a little bit more special. I did have a surprise birthday party many, many years ago when I was working at a school, and the director and the staff surprised me. And I remember how they gave me a DVD player. That was back in the day when we all used DVDs. Anyone remember DVDs? Movies on DVDs? Not even Blu-rom. Lolly from France. Hello, Manuel is here. Wait, Manuel, are you in Prague? Because I just came from there. Fernanda, hello. Thank you for confirming, Fernanda. Thumbs up, Saddam. Thank you for giving me that. Is it Lucia or Lucia? Hello to you. Saddam, loud and clear. Thank you for confirming. Tahria Mimpa, hello to you. And as I don't want to say the first part, I might mess that up, but Joseph 25, hello. Manuel is saying that the 1st of May is a holy day for workers, so it's forbidden to work. Well, guys, this is not really work. This is study, and study brings us joy, so I don't see this as work for me today. It's a day and it's a time to learn together and to share this time together, so it's not really work. I'm having too much fun. Mohammed Hasim 4111, hello to you. Oh, Saddam remembers DVDs back in the day. Good expression. Look in the chat. Learn from each other. Sometimes you will see new words and expressions you can learn from each other. Back in the day means some time ago in the past. Back in the day. When you start getting older, you use that expression a bit more. Back in the day, we had DVDs. Back in the day, we had VHS cassettes. Mohammed, it's an afternoon for you. Seriously, Manuel is in Prague next. I think it's the astronomical clock. I think that's what they call it in English. Well, enjoy. And thank you for that special connection, because last week I was there in that square in Old Town enjoying the beautiful city of Prague. I highly recommend visiting Prague. It was a beautiful city, friendly people, and I enjoyed my time in the Czech Republic. We will be starting soon, and my members helped me choose the topic today, which is understanding fast speech. I'm not speaking too fast yet, but I will give you practice with fast speech so that you can feel more confident and comfortable understanding the patterns. I will answer questions towards the end. And at any time, if you have questions, feel free to put them. If I see them, I will answer. If not, again, towards the end, we'll have time for Q&A, okay? I did have a fine time. Thank you very much. Hopefully you saw some of my photos. Oh, and by the way, little shout out to there's so many street artists, not just performers, but vendors who sell products on the Charles Bridge, which is the famous bridge in Prague. It's a city of bridges, kind of like my hometown of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. But the Charles Bridge is very old, and they have all these vendors selling artwork and jewelry and different things. And the last morning I was there, I decided to shop for myself. And I spent like a good 10-15 minutes with this one vendor choosing just one pair. I was only going to allow myself to buy one pair of earrings. And I chose these from Prague to help me remember my trip in a special way. Do you like to buy souvenirs? Yeah. At some point, I'll show you one more. I decided not to get like cheap postcards. I went to an art gallery of a local artist just by chance. I saw the shop. I thought, I hope I can afford something. I went in and I spoke with the wife of the artist who was selling portraits, and not portraits, but like various oil paintings, mostly oil. And I browsed and I found a section of paintings that I could afford, around like $30 or so. And I bought a scene of Prague, an original scene painted by the local artist. And I thought that's so much more special than just some postcard in a typical souvenir shop. So I did not buy a lot of souvenirs. I focused on eating food, going into museums and churches and such. And then I bought myself two things, earrings and a painting. And that was the extent. That was the extent of my souvenirs. Thank you, Saddam. Okay. Oh, thank you. Tahria Mimpa, please tell your lecturer, thank you. Thank you. From Chittagong University. Well, thank you very much, and greetings to all of you there at Chittagong University. Thank you. All right, guys, let's work the magic, crossing our fingers because sometimes audio goes glitchy. I will fix it, though. I'm going to share my screen. Here we go. Yay, you can hear me, right? For some reason, switching to a different format with that OBS software knocks the audio out of place. But hopefully you can hear me. Yay! Okay, you're still with me, right? Manuel says it's impossible to buy too much stuff. Yes, it is. Yes, yes. You can spend your money on the wrong things. I think sometimes you have to choose experiences over things. Do you agree with that? Experience over things. I enjoyed an ice cream cone in a park, and I just sat on a bench and thoroughly enjoyed my Belgian chocolate ice cream cone on a park bench, sitting there in Prague thinking how special that I get to eat an ice cream cone on a park bench in Prague. And I was so happy for that moment. Yes, I was. Okay. Yes, lots of churches. All right, guys, so what is our plan? We're going to focus on understanding fast speech. I'm not challenging you yet because I'm keeping my speech somewhat controlled for you. We will get faster. What I want to do is break it down into patterns that you can follow, patterns you can become aware of so that you can practice. You know, on YouTube and on many other platforms, you can control the speed, the playback speed. You can do that. So if at any time things are too fast, slow it down. Or sometimes if you watch one of my beginner videos and I'm speaking too slow for you, speed it up. So change the speed depending on what you're comfortable. How much do you want to challenge yourself, right? When you hear spoken English, there are words that are stressed and there are words that are not stressed. We're going to talk about that. Which words are stressed? How do we group words? How are words linked? What is reduction? Reduction comes from the verb reduce, which means make less. So instead of full sounds, we have reduced sounds, which means sounds change. They don't have their full sound. They're either lost or changed. I always worry that my sound's going to go off. And then, of course, I'll tell you some ways to gain more practice. Channel members, thank you, first of all, for helping me choose this topic. And after the live stream, as usual, you will get a follow-up task, okay? So let's talk about understanding fast speech. All kinds of pop-ups are coming on. I do not like pop-ups on computers. Do you? Ugh, they can be so distracting. Okay, I see from Brazil. Good morning. All right, how are we doing, guys? So let's move on. Are you ready? Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Yes, just reminding you all after the live stream, remember that members will get their perks. Some of you members, by the way, don't seem to know all the things that you can get with your membership because only a handful of you are doing the weekly quizzes. So if you'd like to get more practice, check out the community tab because there are member-only quizzes there, by the way. Okay. All right. Time to get started with our listening quizzes. The first thing we're going to do is a gapped dictation. Dictation, as you probably know, means I speak and you write what you hear, or in this case, you type in the chat. A gapped dictation means only some of the words are missing. So in this first set, 1, 2, and 3, I want you to listen for the missing words. I'm going to say things twice. I'm going to use fast speech. All right, you with me? Here we go. Number 1, where did you study English? Where did you study English? I'm using fast, relaxed speech when I ask that question. I know there's a little bit of a delay here. You need all the words. Saddam Muhammad, Susan, good. Yes, yes. 2 words. Did you? Oopsies, can't type today. Where did you sounds like in fast speech, where did you? Where did you? Where did you? Where did you study English? Okay, number 2. Have you visited the U.S.? Have you visited the U.S.? You guys are on the ball. Where did you study? What's the question in 2? That is true. When you hear fast speech, it is definitely easier to see people and to see their faces and their lips. It can be more difficult for that reason when you're only listening to a podcast or when you're only watching an animated movie because those aren't real people, right? Yes, we have 2 words here, have you, and then the article. Okay. Have you visited the U.S. sounds like in fast, relaxed speech. Have you visited the U.S.? 3. Jennifer is a teacher on YouTube. Do you know her? Jennifer is a teacher on YouTube. Do you know her? And Manuel, I'll look at the camera. Jennifer is a teacher on YouTube. Do you know her? Too many fingers. This is also useful for you because it's forcing you to type. And if you're not as comfortable typing in English, participating will force you to get comfortable, right? This is a digital age. You have to learn how to type. If you're speaking English, great. You also need to be able to type in English. So join in and practice. Type the words as best you can. Good, good, good. Jennifer is a, did you get all the words? The article too. On. Then I'm asking another question. Whoopsies. Jennifer is a teacher on YouTube. Do you know her? And fast speech is going to sound like, Jennifer's a teacher on YouTube. Jennifer is a. Jennifer is a. Jennifer is a. Jennifer is a teacher on YouTube. Do you know her? Do you know? Do you know? Do you know her? Jennifer is a teacher on YouTube. Do you know her? You might even hear, do you know her? Do you know her? Some American English speakers might drop that H. Do you know her? Jennifer's a teacher on YouTube. Do you know her? Whew. How'd you do? Yes. Super, super. What did we do, guys? Why did we fill in these words? Did you? Have you? Do you? Why did I give you these words? Think about it. Those of you who've watched my pronunciation lessons or rhythm and intonation, oral reading fluency, what you're seeing are, let me go bigger for you, the content words. The content words. I'm going to put that in black so that you can see. The content words are nouns, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. They carry meaning. They carry content. We need them to understand the messages that we send to each other, either through spoken or written English. But in this case, in spoken English, you will hear the content words more clearly, more fully pronounced because they are stressed. What you were listening for were all the function words, because those words are just there to hold the sentences or questions together, because that's how grammar works. Grammar is like the glue. I'm not the first to say that, but I like that comparison. We need words to hold the structure together. We need the function words, but in terms of content and meaning, the function words are not stressed. We stress the nouns, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs in general. Okay? Yes. Saddam, you're getting technical. Morphemes. But just think there are words that hold meaning and words that don't. They're just there grammatically to hold things in place. So now what we're going to do is flip it. And 4, 5, and 6, I'm going to have you listen for those content words. This is important because when there's fast speech, you may not catch all the words, and that's okay. Because what you really, really need are those content words, the ones carrying the meaning. So if all you heard was, where study English, you can probably piece together that someone is asking you about where you studied English. Okay? All right, so 4, 5, and 6, listen. Get ready to type. 4, I've heard her play the piano in some videos. I've heard her play the piano in some videos. Once more, Manuel, I'll look at you. I've heard her play the piano in some videos. Last time, fast. I've heard her play the piano in some videos. Here you're starting to see that pronunciation and grammar are connected. You start to understand there are patterns. And if you can figure out the patterns, it will become easier to understand and also to speak more naturally. Videos. Yep. Oh, Julia, good. Okay, so heard is the main verb. Heard her. Yes, there's play. Play what? Most of you got the instrument. Some videos. Some what? Videos. That's my noun. Heard is a verb. I've, just like up here, did, have, and do. Those are not main verbs. They're helping verbs or auxiliary verbs. The helping verbs are usually not stressed. The main verbs are stressed. Play, piano, videos. Quantifiers, it depends. Sometimes we do emphasize them like, oh, he has a lot of videos. For example, we could stress a quantifier, but generally speaking, they're considered function words, so it depends. I've heard her play the piano in some videos. That also creates the rhythm. If you hear the content words, you're hearing the stressed words. I've heard her play the piano in some videos. Okay, super. 5, listen, ready, get your fingers ready to type. I also think she plays the accordion. Oh, sorry, let me change that. I think she also plays the accordion. I think she also plays the accordion. I think she also plays the accordion. I had to remember what I was thinking. I think she also plays the accordion. Oh my gosh, someone's asking, is this my first live stream? For me, no. For you, maybe. I've been live streaming as long as they've had this feature. How many years has that been? More than a decade. And I do go live every month, so just watch out. Usually it's the first Friday of the month. I said, one more time, I think she also plays the accordion. Pretty good, Mohammed. You just forgot that K. That's called a typo. When you type fast and you make a little mistake, like I know that you know, but your fingers missed a letter. I think she also is an adverb, plays the accordion. Okay, verb, adverb, verb. Oops, did I spell accordion wrong? Which language am I thinking of? I'm thinking of the wrong language. Isn't that funny? Oh, by the way, in Prague, it was so much fun. I was only there for less than a week. But as soon as I arrived, I got out of the airport. I ordered an Uber. And these two drivers were sort of not quite arguing, but debating like who should take me. For some reason, they didn't like that I used the airport kiosk and not the app. I don't know if that means they get less money, but they were talking in Russian. So I'm listening. They don't realize I'm listening to all of this. So I finally go up to the one driver and I say in Russian, oh, so you're the one are you going to take us? Can you take us to the hotel? So we ended up speaking Russian the whole way from the airport to the hotel. So my driver, I don't know if he might have been from Ukraine, but we spoke Russian. And then the hotel, yeah, I've heard Italian. I don't speak Italian, but I was able to use Russian yet again. And then I was able to use my Spanish just a little bit. I was at the theater and there were so many entrances, and two ladies also were confused which entrance to use to go into the concert hall. And they came up to me and they asked me in Spanish, do you speak Spanish? And at first I'm ready to say like, no, but then I said un poco. So they asked me if I could ask the guy in the shop, la tienda, because he only spoke Czech and English. And they said, why don't you ask him? And to know which entrance we need. I'm like, okay. So I go and I ask him and I came back. And with my basic level Spanish, I was able to tell the ladies that, okay, there are different entrances. The entrance is not here. We need another one. It's on the side. So yes, I struggled a bit, but I said it. And I was so happy that I was able to use my Spanish. And what better way is there to use what language you have, even with mistakes, to help another person, who's lost. So that was my little woo. I felt actually happier about using my little bit of Spanish than Russian, but it felt good to speak Russian, but it was fun. That was my fun memory of using my languages. Oh, who remembers that my cousin plays? Stunning Lad 1. Yes, Gina, my cousin Gina. How long it takes to go to an airport? It depends. It took me 30 minutes from the Prague airport to my hotel. I would love to visit Mexico and use my Spanish. Thank you. Fernando. All right, I got distracted. We had a verb, adverb, verb, and another noun. 6, put your listening ears on. Do you happen to play an instrument? Do you happen to play an instrument? Do you happen to play an instrument? I can say, do you happen to play an instrument? Manuel, accordion. I've never seen the accordion in an orchestra. No. Happen. Very good, Saddam. Okay. Do you happen to play an instrument? Verb, verb, noun. Pronouns, helping verbs, are function words. If we have the infinitive, the to is not stressed. It's reduced. Instead of to play, you hear to play, happen to play. And then instrument. Do you happen to play an instrument? Do you happen to play an instrument? That's where the stress is. So again, the content words carry meaning. They're mainly nouns, verbs, adverbs, and adjectives. That is what you need to listen for the most, right? Listen for the content words when you feel challenged and you know you're not catching every word, kind of like me with Spanish. It happens in fast Russian too, especially like news reports. Those are fast. Unless you can change the speed, the best you can do is listen for the key words, the words that carry meaning. That's usually my strategy, right? And the nice thing in a real situation, if you're speaking with people, you can ask them to slow down or to repeat, right? Yes, you could say, do you play an instrument? This is a bit more casual, like by chance. Do you happen to play an instrument? I'm just asking out of curiosity. So happen adds on a little bit of curiosity, like by chance. Maybe it's relevant to the conversation. Since I'm talking about instruments, now I want to know by you. Do you happen to play? Do you happen to play an instrument? Listen to these 6 questions and sentences once more. I'll start with 1. Where did you study English? Have you visited the U.S.? Jennifer's a teacher on YouTube. Do you know her? I've heard her play the piano in some videos. I think she also plays the accordion. Do you happen to play an instrument? Okay. So we learned about content words and function words. Listen for those stressed words because they carry meaning. If you miss some of the function words, it's probably going to be okay. You can still piece together the meaning. In this second quiz, all the words are here, but I need you to hear the breaks. If you want to work on your pronunciation, I strongly encourage you to read aloud. I have a whole playlist on oral reading. One of my private students for more than a year has also been doing oral reading because she is actually a reader in her church. And so her public speaking has become so beautiful and articulate and clear because she's reading very clearly for a large group of people. And of course, she wants to make her sounds very clear. But more than that, she wants to have good rhythm. And she has a very nice reading voice. I'm so proud of her. And she's reading for a large group of people, and she's reading with expression, she's reading with the stress, she's reading with the rhythm, and it becomes a much more pleasant experience for the people listening, right? You don't want people just to read words like May is truly beautiful because everything is blooming. There's reading, and then there's practiced reading, right? Careful reading, reading with articulate, clear speech in a meaningful way. That's what we're after. If you do this kind of practice, it will transfer into everyday conversation because you'll have more awareness of how clearly you can make your sounds. There's a time to relax and there's a time to speak more carefully, right? So that you can truly be understood. And there's a time to really especially read with expression, to carry the meaning through. Be aware of what you want to say, what the message is that you're trying to give. So in this first exercise, it's a short sentence. I want you to listen to how I group the words together. We cannot say long sentences in one breath. We use thought groups. They generally follow grammatical patterns. So if you understand grammar and syntax, how sentences are put together, you will understand thought groups, and vice versa. If you don't, then doing this kind of exercise will help you become more aware of grammar and syntax. What I want you to do is tell me, after which words do you hear a pause? Okay? Number 1, listen, I'll read it twice. May is truly beautiful because everything is blooming and the air is fragrant with all kinds of flowers. Say kind or kinds, doesn't matter. May is truly beautiful because everything is blooming and the air is fragrant with all kinds of flowers. And by the way, here's a situation where I chose to stress the quantifier. I also highlighted fragrant because that might be a new word for some of you. The advanced learners here, advanced speakers of English, can help me. Please put the definition of fragrant. How do you understand fragrant? Fragrant. The air is fragrant. What does that mean? Okay. Where did you hear the pauses? After which words? May is truly beautiful. So you type for me, beautiful, because after there I paused. May is truly beautiful because everything is blooming and the air is fragrant with all kinds of flowers. Yes. Fragrant, not so much permanent, but it's maybe you're thinking of permeate, Manuel, like a smell permeates, it fills the air. Saddam Mohammed, yes. Smells super good. Lingering smell of roses. Ooh, that's a beautiful word, Manuel, lingering. Fragrant means there's this smell, and it's a pleasant smell, a fragrance. Like perfumes are also called fragrances, right? And that smell is in the air. But this is an adjective. The air is fragrant. It smells good. May is truly beautiful because everything is blooming. Did you hear the pause? And the air is fragrant with all kinds of flowers. So that's going to be the pattern we'll follow in number 2. I want you to tell me like beautiful, blooming, fragrant, flowers. That's where I paused. Easy on the eyes. What did I stress? May, truly, beautiful. Everything. You could do some pronouns. Some pronouns, especially the indefinite ones, could be stressed. Not necessarily. So blooming, definitely. But if you want to emphasize it, you could, because everything is blooming. You could. And the air is fragrant, all kinds of flowers. Why did I break it up this way? Subject and verb. This is a complete idea, a clause. Here's another clause, subject and verb. It happens to be an adverb clause, but clauses are full thoughts because they have subjects and verbs. Clauses, especially longer ones, are usually thought groups. So it might be too difficult for me to say 2 long clauses in one breath. Instead, it makes sense to pause after the first. So pausing in the right places creates a natural rhythm. When you're reading, commas and periods help you, right? Why did I choose to break this up? Who knows the grammar here? With all kinds of flowers. What little word is that? It's a function word. Why is this a thought group all by itself? Blooming, very good. Blooming, thriving. The blooming is also a good word if you don't know it. Channel members, I think I'll give you a vocabulary quiz after this on words like blooming and fragrant. And you may say, oh, but Jennifer, I know those words. Yes, you know them. You understand them. Can you use them, right? Can you use them appropriately, naturally? So I'll give you some practice with vocabulary. So listen again and have awareness of the thought groups. Thought groups are how we group the words together and we create these natural pauses in our speech. The grammar and the pronunciation are connected that way. May is truly beautiful because everything is blooming and the air is fragrant with all kinds of flowers. Somebody put dependent clause. Yes, yes. This is not a clause. We don't have a subject and a verb, but we have a preposition with, to, from, for, right? Those little words are prepositions. They have an object, and we call this a prepositional phrase. If I only had with flowers, I might just say, and the air is fragrant with flowers. But with longer prepositional phrases, we often have a separate thought group. With all kinds of flowers is long enough to be its own thought group. Yes. The prepositional phrase. Yes, how is it fragrant? It's adverbial in nature. Very good, stunning lad. With all kinds of flowers. Let me read it once. I want you to read it too on your end. Read it aloud and follow the thought groups. It is too long to say in one breath, so we break it up naturally. Listen. May is truly beautiful because everything is blooming and the air is fragrant with all kinds of flowers. Try it. Manuel, I know you have a poet's heart there. Everything's blooming. Look around, guys. There's something blooming around you, I'm sure. Okay? All right, so same thing. We're focusing, let's not do that tip quite yet. Whoopsies. Let's just focus on the thought groups. I'm going to read it twice. You want to type the words after which you hear a pause. Where am I pausing? So in number 1, you would have typed beautiful, blooming, fragrant, and flowers. Okay, get ready too. The saying goes like this: stop and smell the roses. And although it sounds a little silly, it's actually sound advice for the time that we're living in. We're so caught up in all our daily activities and constantly connected to technology. We need to disconnect from all that periodically to rest and remember what's really important. I'll go a little slower. The saying goes like this: stop and smell the roses. And although it sounds a little silly, it's actually sound advice for the time that we're living in. We're so caught up in all our daily activities and constantly connected to technology. We need to disconnect from all that periodically to rest and remember what's really important. And there's different ways we could break it up. As you saw, I was thinking of different patterns in my mind. Okay, easy English goes like this. The saying goes like this. Again, punctuation is going to help you. A colon is kind of like a period in that it is an end of a statement. But what follows is usually another, some kind of definition or explanation. What's the saying? Here it is. So this, stop and smell the roses. And although it sounds a little silly, the comma helps you there. It's actually sound advice. You could do advice for the time we're living in. It's up to you. You could possibly do the whole thing. It's actually sound advice for the time we're living in. I think it makes to pause. It makes sense to pause. It's actually sound advice for the time we're living in. We're so caught up in all our daily activities and constantly connected to technology. We need to disconnect from all that periodically to rest and remember what's really important. There's a couple ways you could do that. Disconnect from all that periodically. I'll try it that way. Can you take out the word that? Often, yes. Yes, here you could say for the time we're living in. Here, no, because it's a pronoun, right? So good question. Surprise asks, when can we drop that? If you're connecting a clause like this one, you could drop for the time that we're living in. It's like which we're living in. But this one you cannot drop. Okay? So we have the saying. Whoopsies, I didn't mean to do that. The saying goes like this. Stop and smell the roses. And although it sounds a little silly, it's actually sound advice. Sound advice, you can explain that, my advanced learners here. Is that good or bad advice? Sound advice. For the time that we're living in. Oh, AI is a whole nother category, whole nother discussion, but it's not all bad, Manuel. Okay. Phrasal verb, caught up. And we're so caught up in all our daily activities, constantly connected to technology. We need to disconnect from all that periodically to rest and remember what's really important. I just highlighted those content words. So inside a thought group, you'll find the content words, okay? But first, in this exercise, you're having awareness of how we're grouping the words, right? The saying goes like this. Stop and smell the roses. And although it sounds a little silly, it's actually sound advice for the time that we're living in. You could use this. It's an adverb. We're so caught up in all our daily activities and constantly connected to technology. We need to disconnect from all that periodically to rest and remember what's really important. Whew, I know that's long, but this is what you're hearing when you're hearing people speak, whether they know it or not. Majority of people do not know it. They're using thought groups. We're organizing our ideas into groups, grammatical units, and within those thought groups, there are content words. Those are the words that are stressed. Okay? There are patterns to follow and patterns that you can learn so that that's how you pick up that natural sounding English, right? It's the patterns that the majority of English speakers use so that we understand each other, right? Gosh, I know your end. I try not to have too many ads, but I know they're popping up on my end too. Sorry. Yes. Okay, so let's talk about vocabulary. Sound advice is wise, practical, good advice, right? It's sound, it's practical, it's good, it's wise. Caught up, right? You're focused, and that's where all your attention goes. If you're caught up in a problem, that's all that you're thinking about. So often we're so focused on all of our daily activities, we're caught up in what? Right? Often to the point where we're distracted by this problem, for example. And periodically is a very good adverb to know, a nice alternative. I know all of you who are listening know the common adverbs of frequency, like often, sometimes, rarely, never. Periodically is like from time to time, sometimes, periodically, right? Periodically. These are good text to practice for oral reading. You want to practice reading smoothly, one thought group at a time. And the idea then, why did we have this? Focus on the content words within the thought groups and focus on stressed words to gain a general understanding. So if you heard this rather than read it, your ears would be listening for the stressed content words. You might not catch all the function words, and it's okay. Okay. Another challenge, let's focus on this next part. Okay. We have 2 more quizzes. You're doing great, guys. Woohoo. Third quiz, very important. What is happening within those thought groups? Words are connecting. Words are linking. This is another challenge when you hear fast speech. It's hard to hear individual words because words are connecting to create this smooth speech. And so with all this smooth speech, you may not be able all the time to easily hear the individual words, but in time you will. You will, okay? It's also a matter of building up your vocabulary, right? Because even if you hear words, if you don't understand them, that's not going to get you to the point where you want to be. So you also need to continue your vocabulary studies as well. So you're seeing how grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation, they're all connected. In this third quiz, I have 3 sentences, and you want to hear which words are naturally connecting. Okay? I'm so glad some of you take notes when you listen. And after this, you can come back to this live stream, look at the parts, and review the explanations and exercises that you need the most. Perhaps you understand content words and function words, but you need this part, linking. Listen. First, what do I say it all as one or not? Many teachers give the same messages about language learning. I personally would probably go like this. It's kind of long. You can see out of the 3 sentences, number 1 is the longest. And again, why might I choose to separate this? Because I have a preposition. Language learning is kind of a long phrase, so I might use and say this prepositional phrase as a thought group. Many teachers give the same messages about language learning. Many teachers give the same messages, same messages, same messages. Why am I linking these ones? And most other English speakers would do the same. American English speakers, British English speakers, Australian, Canadian. You'll hear this linking. Why? Many teachers give the same messages about language learning. You say the sound is lagging. I don't know. On my laptop it sounds good. I apologize if there's a lag. This is the main clause. Teachers give the same messages. This is a prepositional phrase. We only have one clause. It's an independent clause. Just a simple sentence. But here, same messages. This is a silent E. It ends with M. And then the following word starts with an M. When you have 2 consonant sounds back to back, and they're the same, 2 M's, 2 S's, 2 L's, like all learners, we like to link those words. Link 2 consonant sounds together if they're the same. Also, if they're similar, like S's and Z's are very similar, they also link together. But here it's very natural to link consonant to consonant. Also, although we don't have the same consonant sounds here, language learning is a phrase. Language ends with the J sound, but I don't release the breath. I don't say language learning. There is no break. A trick that you can master is to use the same breath. Don't break and use 2 separate breaths. Language learning. We're not reading a list, we're reading a phrase. So use the same breath as you say these words. Language learning. Language learning. So you don't release the breath, you just keep moving into the next consonant sound. Language learning. Not language learning, language learning. But this one is key. I'll say it, you'll repeat. Many teachers give the same messages about language learning. Try that. Good. Okay. 2, you and I both know that learning a language takes time. You and I both know that language learning takes time. Two thought groups. Why? You and I both know that language learning takes time. And yes, surprise, I could drop that. This is an instance where I could drop that. You and I both know that language learning takes time. What do we have two of? Here it was a clause, and at the end we had a prepositional phrase. Here, subject and verb. Subject and verb. Two what? Two clauses. Okay? Again, grammar is dictating how we break up the sentence. It's very natural to use two thought groups. You and I both know that language learning takes time. Okay? What's happening here? You and I, you and I, you and I, you and I, you and, you and, ooh and, you and. What's happening here is vowel to vowel. I have videos on this. Just look in my fast speech playlist and we go over linking sounds. Vowel to vowel can happen with a W or a Y sound. Ooh, these are back vowel sounds. Ooh into another vowel is going to link with the W. Not you and, but you and, you and, you and. Some Americans might drop the D in fast speech, but we're also going to link consonant to vowel. I could say you and I or you and I. I'd probably in fast speech drop the D. You and I, you and I, you and I. Sounds like I. You and I both know. You and I both know that learning a, here we have consonant, that ng into an article. Very common for articles to link to a consonant sound before. Consonant into vowel is a common linking pattern, especially with articles. Learning a language takes time. You and I both know that learning a language takes time. I'll say it slowly, more slowly, but still with linking, and then you'll have a chance to try. You and I both know that learning a language takes time. Try that. Okay. Yes, Stunning Lad One. It's good to have awareness of how the sentences are put together. Yes, this is a complex sentence because here we have an adverb clause and then there's an imperative. So we have two thought groups, right? There is an understood subject with imperatives like, I want you to do this, right? Note them. When you see and hear new words, note them. When you see and hear new words, note them. Note them. When you see and hear, see and hear, see and hear, and. What's happening? Vowel to vowel. Up here we had oo, here we have e. This is a front vowel sound. We're linking with a y sound, y. Not see and, but see and, see and. Again, I might drop the D in fast, relaxed speech, and it might sound like seeing. Seeing, see and hear. When you see and hear new words, note them. See and hear. Try this. See and hear. See and hear. When you see and hear new words, note them. And again, American English speakers, North American speakers, Canadians too, we often use that glottal stop. Instead of note them, I'm going to say note them. Note them. You don't have to master that quite yet. But what I want you to understand at this point is, why did I group the words this way? I have two thought groups in each one. Hopefully, by now you understand why. Later, when you come back to practice, and I hope that you do, you'll read these sentences again and you'll observe the thought groups, and you will do your best to link consonant to consonant, vowel to vowel, consonant to vowel, vowel to vowel. I'll read these once more. 1. Many teachers give the same messages about language learning. You and I both know that learning a language takes time. When you see and hear new words, note them. I don't know if you're saying don't have you're going to have the replay, guys, right? If that's what you're asking about. Live streams are recorded, so you can watch this as many times as you want. Okay. All right. Woo, we've done a lot. Okay. We have about 5-10 minutes left. You're doing great. We talked about stressed words, content words, the words that carry meaning. Function words are just the little words there to hold the sentences together grammatically, right? We stress the content words. When we speak in thought groups. We group our words together in grammatical units. Within the thought groups, we have our content words. Within the thought groups, we link. Okay? The final quiz I have for you, we'll see how well you do. We're going to go through these rather quickly to give you practice. This is reduction. This is the biggest challenge. I have lots of videos on this. I'll show them where you can find them. So stick around. But we're going to go through 14 sentences rather quickly. And we'll talk about how full sounds become reduced sounds. Sounds become lost or changed. They no longer retain their full quality. Okay? So I need to refer to my notes so I can remember what I'm supposed to say. Okay, type. Get ready to type. Number 1. Here we go. You ready? Whew. Okay. I'm trying to say messages with American linking words. Yes, you need to walk before you fly. I like that analogy. Okay, we're walking and you keep practicing, you will fly. All right, here we go. Number 1. I wouldn't have known if you hadn't told me. I wouldn't have known if you hadn't told me. And it sounds like, I guess something like this. And please, please, please don't write this kind of language, okay? Don't write these words. This is just like spelled pronunciation. Wouldn't have can sound like wouldna, wouldna. I wouldn't have known if you hadn't told me. 2, I told you so. I told you so. Again, please do not write this kind of language. Right. I told you so. Good. You guys are awesome. 3. What did you say? What did you say? What did you say? What did you say? There are so many variations, but these are some of them. What did you say? Again, you might only hear what and say, so listen for those content words. Okay, you're doing great. Oh, look at you guys. Super, super. 4, it wasn't a problem. It wasn't a problem. It wasn't a problem. Something like that. I'm thinking as I'm typing because I don't normally type such words. You guys are good. 5. I was going to tell you. 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 You often sounds like yeah. I was going to tell you. Okay, 6. I kind of knew his answer before he told me. I kind of knew his answer before he told me. I kind of knew his answer before he told me. This one is very common. Kind of sounds like kinda. And we don't just use that in fast speech. You'll hear it in sort of just relaxed English. I kinda want to go. Kind of. Don't write it with an ah. It is kind of, 2 words. Kinda new. Okay. 7. Okay, I have to remember what I wrote. Okay. I don't know, do you? 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 Whoopsies. Woohoo! We're almost done, guys. We're halfway there. Look at that. Saddam, you got it. Yes, yes, yes. And it goes beyond contractions. Okay. Flipping my page. What are you going to do? 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 There are some variations, but what are you? What are you? What are you? Going to, gonna. I know you're seeing a lot of people write gonna. I don't recommend it. My phone always changes it to gonna, and I change it back to going to. What are you going to do? 9? Oh, good ears, Manuel. There you go. You got to do the right thing. 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 This one, yes, you could use have, would be the contraction. You got to, you've got to. So we often drop the have, but have got to is like you must, right? You have to. You got to do the right thing. And by the way, we could add on here, like you have to do could sound like have to do, right? So it's basically the same thing. When you got to do something, you have to do it. You feel like you must, right? You have to do the right thing. You got to do the right thing. Okay, just a few more. You're doing awesome. I don't know what you're thinking. 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 What you're. Don't know, dunno. That's another one. You might see people write D-U-N-N-O. I don't recommend it. Stunning Lad 1, good job. I don't know how well I do with fast British English or Cockney or other variations, other dialects. It's tough sometimes. You got to know the patterns. You got to know the patterns. You've got to know the patterns. 11. Oh, we really have to go. We really have to go. It's 10:06 on my time. We really have to go. We will, guys. Bear with me, and you will benefit. I told some stories, so I digressed. Have to. We really have to go. Okay, last 3. We're almost out of time. 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 We are. We're almost out of time. And this, you can have we're or were. So what you're hearing is the alternative pronunciation, were, right? It basically sounds like the verb were. They have the same pronunciation. But you could say we're almost out of time, but we're almost out of sounds like atta. Okay. We're almost out of time. No, I don't. There's too many. I don't know what that means. Stunning loud 1. 13. Okay. I don't believe it. Give me a break. I don't believe it. Give me a break. I don't believe it. Give me a break. Give me a break. I would not encourage you to always change give me to gimme. It can sound too informal. There's times where you could use it, but I don't generally recommend it. But give me a break is a common expression. Here I would use give me or gimme. Give me a break. Give me a break. It means like, please, like, don't even tell me that. It's an expression of like frustration, or like you don't want to accept something. Someone's saying something and you don't want to accept it or agree it. Someone's complaining one more time about how difficult their life is, and you think, oh, you think your life is difficult. Give me a break. Like, my problems are so much bigger. Something like that. Give me a break. Give me a break. All right, 14. Don't you want to come? Don't you want to come? Don't you want to come? You might also hear, don't you want to come? Don't you want to come? But don't you want to come? Don't you can sound like sometimes, what is that word? Kind of like, gosh, how would you write it? Don't you? Want to, so wanna. Everything in parentheses is spelled pronunciation. I do not encourage these words. You will sometimes see a few things. I've seen license plate, like out of, right? Back to the Future, at a time. So they might have put out of something on a license plate. Don't you want to come? These are difficult to hear, difficult to get to understand right away, but the more you hear them, the more familiar they are. I want to let you know there are ways to gain more practice. This, let me put in the chat. Okay, this is the Fast Speech playlist. Remember, go to my homepage and click the playlists tab. There are lots of playlists, guys. Let me put this here. Wait, where are we? Boop, 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 boop. Okay. So in the Fast Speech playlist, there are lessons 1 through 20, all right, on linking and different patterns in fast speech, especially linking and reduction. But in that playlist, there is a shorter series of lessons on the reduced speech, and you will see all of these patterns practiced. I partnered with another teacher, And she's not on social media, but she's a professor and an expert on listening and speaking. So she often presents at our professional conferences on pronunciation, and we partner together to create a series of short lessons to help you practice and train your ears to hear those reduced sounds. So go into my fast speech playlist and you'll see those lessons I made with her, as well as my original 20 lessons on fast speech. Also, my oral reading fluency playlist has 45 videos with slow and fast readings. Again, some of the slow readings will be too easy for some of you, but you can always speed it up. You can always speed it up. Or stick to the final readings, the most recent ones, which are longer and more advanced. And finally, check out the conversation playlist. There are 90 videos to date. Okay, that's a lot of videos. And the conversation playlist has listening practice in there. So there's 3 good playlists that will give you practice with fast speech. Okay? All right, you guys are awesome. All right, as we wind down, I will remind you, and I'll do a quick check on the chat and see if there are any questions that I missed. We covered content words and function words, thought groups and stress, linking, reduction, and ways to gain more practice. I highlighted 3 playlists with lots of videos. Choose one and practice. Go over the patterns that we practiced today. Review this video. Focus on the exercises that were more challenging for you. Okay? And finally, if you did pretty well and you're thinking, I can handle fast speech, Jennifer, then you can go beyond membership perks and you can go to a place with my feedback, with cameras and mics on, and you don't just have to listen to me, you can talk with me, and that happens on Patreon, guys. The link is always on my channel. But you can also visit my website and learn more. The topic this month is making polished presentations. So if you're in the group and you're a lifelong learner, you'll be making short presentations. I'll guide you through making it, preparing for it, delivering it, enjoying the whole process of making a polished presentation. Okay, so check that out. And I'm going to come back to the main page, and I'll be looking for your comments. Any questions that I missed? Okay, thank you for sticking around, some of you, my diehards. So, Dom, if you can handle the fast speech and you're saying, I want more, check out Patreon, because that's where I really challenge you. That's where I can really support you with independent tasks. And we focus on speaking, listening, writing, reading, vocabulary, grammar, you name it. So the members choose the topics each month, and there are both the live classes and the independent tasks to benefit from. Time flies. Okay, I'm just checking to see if I missed anything. Surprise, you're still asking me about surprise birthday parties. Look, you have all this time from now until next March to plan some kind of surprise for me. My birthday's in March 9th. So, but maybe I'll surprise you next year. Maybe I'll go live again. Yes, there are different things, of course, that you can benefit from. If pronunciation is your target goal right now, you want to work on pronunciation, understanding fast speech is connected very well, because listening and speaking are very much dependent on each other for spoken communication, right? But some of you love more the written English, written speech, and in that case, reading and writing, which we do on Patreon. So it's a place where you can gain practice both with spoken and written English. I'm going to say goodbye and thank you all for sticking with me for an hour and 15 minutes as we worked on understanding fast speech. Thank you for your active participation. Members, I'm going to be giving you some follow-up tasks, so check out the community tab. And I'll see you again in April, May, June. June will be our next live stream. And again, be sure to vote. And maybe next month we won't do spoken. Maybe we'll focus more on grammar or another skill. Okay? Take care, everyone. I wish you all the best. Happy spring. Happy May.